Fairview's coffee has mysteriously gone missing. Mayhem ensues when strange, coffee-craving zombies plague the city. Detective Mickey Potatoes, an overworked public servant, uncovers why ordinary citizens are losing their minds and how to stop the coffee apocalypse. But it involves the mafia. And when you're dealing with mafia crime families, nothing is ever easy. The mafia controls everything in the city, including the police, including him. If he breaks the mafia, they will break him. So, the city is without coffee. The city is burning before his very eyes, but he's powerless. Detective Potatoes has the power to stop the coffee apocalypse, but if he does, he could lose everything.
First world, come in and take a seat. Pay us no attention, it's all conspiracy. We have satire and parody, some funny, some perverse. If none of it's offensive to you, you'd be the first.
The Immortal Mask, a 1970s superhero crime noir adventure that follows a retired soldier who is given a covenant interview with a death row inmate. What he learns from the interview thrusts him into Atlanta's shadowy underworld. He'll have to utilize his military training to survive from being hunted for the information that could topple the most powerful ruling class in the city. This is not a pre-order or a crowdfunding campaign. Get your books now at thenunneley.com.
Raid of the White Leopard, Book 1, is the story of a band of Vikings that get caught up in a storm and wash up on a mysterious island. Written by Edwin Acevedo, the writer of The Ace, with art by Avery Butterworth from the Lost Pages. Back it today on fundmycomic.com.
25 seconds to curtain, folks.
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
Good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Manager here at criticalblast.com, and lots of other things that I do. But tonight we're just going to focus on the podcasting. We have people in the chat already. Mike Walters has stopped by to like and share the stream. Say hi. Appreciate that, Mike. Just on Mike's channel last Friday night, by the way, over at the Mike stand, for the historic comic retrospective. And I'm sure I'm saying those words in the wrong order or leaving off a syllable or two. But basically, we get in there and we read Golden Age comic books out loud. We make silly voices. It's a ton of fun. If you haven't checked out the comic book retrospective on Friday nights, definitely do so. And of course, every other night of the weeknights, go in there for the niche news and this moment in niche history, which Mike covers nightly for everybody who tunes in. You know what they say, like and subscribe. Get out there and do that. Tonight, set sail for action and adventure with Raid of the White Leopard. Please welcome with me to the show, Mr. Edwin Acevedo.
Hey, what's going on?
Ace, how you doing tonight, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Glad to do it. Folks, we were supposed to have him on last week, and I screwed up. I double booked, and then the other guy couldn't get on, and I'm like, okay, well, I got the night off. And it turned into almost a whole week off. I've almost lost how to run StreamYard now because I didn't have shows for a while.
Yeah,
but we are back in the saddle. So last I talked with you, you were doing a book called The Ace, and now you're branching out into doing something completely different than The Ace.
Yeah. Yeah, so Raid of the White Leopard is something that I originally did a couple years back for as a short story for Alterna Comics. One of my dreams was to be published by a comic book company and kind of have that credit to my name. And, Peter has open submissions. So, I came up with this story of a little Viking tale with a twist, surprise little ending there that you kind of don't see coming that leads to something bigger. So Peter dug it and he ended up publishing, and it came out on Wednesday, number 18. So
nice.
That's the start of the project.
So this is an expansion on that short story?
Yep. That's we kind of tell you everything that happens. Kind of basically the hook is these Vikings are celebrating after a successful raid, and they're on their way home, and all of a sudden this crazy storm kicks up, and that it shipwrecks their ship, and the few remaining Vikings hop on aboard a boat, and they basically just barely make it to this island, and then they find something on the island that's kind of unexpected, and then we kind of go into the continue of the story. We kind of find out about the island and its inhabitants, so kind of mixing a lot of different elements to tell this one story.
Okay, so is the White Leopard the boat that they have, or?
No, he's a being. You kind of call him like a superhero, but it's not really what he is. Okay. He has the outer look of one. And you get introduced to him here in the kind of second half of the story, and you kind of find out what he's about, and why everything that happens with the island, which is kind of part of the mystery of the comic.
Yeah, it seemed like well, it doesn't seem like it actually is. All the different storytelling tropes, they come in waves. I mean, once somebody's got a successful one, it seems like there's everybody doing it all at once. And I'm not saying that they're saying, hey, let's get on the bandwagon. It just seems to be time for that thing. And we had cycles of werewolves, we had cycles of Westerns. And now, since Vikings has become such a popular show, we've had Viking stories show up in comics. What was your inspiration for, doing Vikings? I mean, it's a lost culture, and if it's not something that you're connected to personally, it's what draws you to it?
I'm a big fan of the movie 13th Warrior. I religiously watch it. There was a time where I could almost quote the whole movie line by line. It's just like, I find it incredibly fascinating. I love the characters, the storytelling in that movie. And, like I said, I wanted to play with that, but I also wanted to kind of add my own twist to it. I didn't want to just tell like a traditional Viking story. I wanted to mix in some other elements that make the story super interesting. Like, to me, my hope is that when you finish the first part of the story and you see like the little twist at the end, you go, whoa, all right, now I want to know more. And, back when you were reading the alternative version, you couldn't find out more. Now you get to like turn the next page and, there's more here. And hopefully, we can give you some answers, but also keep surprising you and keep kind of hooking you in more and more. Because, my idea with this is to do like a 3-book series.
Was there a plan to continue with Alterna, and it just didn't materialize, or?
No, like I said, that's more like a bucket list item. The idea of being published by a comic book company to have like my name in the credits. I ended up being in a book that has a cover by Kenneth Rocafort. What else can you do? Like that checks all the boxes there. And now, like I said, I believe in kind of this indie movement and kind of doing comics our way by ourselves and kind of telling the stories that we want on our own timetable. And, once I kind of finished up with Ace 2 and Bloodbone, Raid of the White Leopard was right there. It was just calling to me. So it was time.
So how big of a story is Raid of the White Leopard? I mean, is this a couple of issues or is this open-ended? You just want to keep telling it?
Oh, no, it's a 3-part story. This is the book 1's the beginning, book 2 would be the middle, and book 3 would be kind of the finale. I see it as like a big, almost like a HBO kind of special miniseries, like they just do these 3 parts and you get the full story once you get the 3 parts. But each one has its own kind of cool moments that you kind of want to watch and want more of. But I see this kind of like just one story told in 3 parts, and then kind of that's pretty much it.
Okay. So what amount of Viking research went into this? I mean, is this like, oh, we must be historically accurate here. This weapon here was shaped like this and they would use it like that. Or is it like, it's a comic book adventure. Let's just throw some Vikings at something and have a fight.
Yeah. So I love comics. So anything that I do is going to be in that realm. It's not I'm going to be pouring through the old text to find out the language that was spoken. And, that's awesome for people who do that. My salute to you. I respect the hell out of people who really go deep in. But like I said, the reason I wanted to do the Viking story with a twist is because, this kind of the twist falls more into like the stories that I like to tell and the stories that I can tell best. So, but these guys are traditional Vikings, like you'll see they're very familiar to you. They don't have superpowers or anything crazy like that. They're traditional Vikings. And like the thing that makes it cool to me is the little twist and the kind of how we throw all these different elements that at first don't come together. So that's part of like the mystery and the fun of telling the story. So
they're regular Vikings, which no such thing as regular Vikings. Are all strong warriors. Are they in a supernatural setting, or do they think they're in a supernatural setting?
There are definitely some supernatural like elements that play, especially on the island part. There's definitely some mysticism and some different things that once you kind of read it, you'll kind of see, okay, this is different. Like even the island itself is full of different things that don't exactly go together at first kind of glance. So it's the fun thing about being able to play with this island and all the characters and everything that happens to it. And then basically you throw the Vikings in and it just shakes everything up.
Adding Vikings always makes it better. It always shakes it up. So can you tell us about your main character then? Who's the protagonist of this tale and his motivations and such?
Like I said, it's mostly two stories in one. So the Viking story is seen through their leader, Arik. He's basically a true believer. We see a lot of stories that, do people actually believe this stuff? But, he believes like his fate's already been determined. He believes in the gods. He always mentions them and brings them up. Like he's completely set that this only part in life is for him to try and gain entry into Valhalla. And, so he's very kind of motivated, in most of the story that will be told will be mostly through his eyes. You'll see some of the other Vikings kind of play their own part too, but mostly see it through him. And then the second half is told through the White Leopard. And you find out about him and what his motivation is and exactly what drives him. And it's very much these two kind of very different people, very different. And it kind of drives the conflict when they come together.
All right. I've got the campaign page pulled up here. Folks, this is, by the way, if you want to contribute to this campaign, let me state early on rather than at the end of the video, the link is right below the video that you're watching on YouTube right now. Just click it. It will take you straight on to not Indiegogo, not Kickstarter. This is a Fund My Comic exclusive book right here. And we've got the page up here. So if you have not been to Fund My Comic yet, it is the new kid on the block, the upstart, the challenger, and it is charging lower fees to creators who sign up with it than you would pay at Indiegogo and Kickstarter. And it's also a little bit, a lot more willing to hang up the phone on Karen when she calls and complains about what you said on Twitter. So, you have much more freedom here at Fund My Comic. Edwin, tell us why you picked Fund My Comic for yourself, and what your experience has been with it so far before we get down here and dig into the tiers.
Yeah, man. My experience is great so far. Like I said, one of the biggest issues I've had, aside from any shenanigans or anything with Indiegogo, has been just setting up the campaign page. I mean, they make their mailing list pretty simple. There's no real problems. Once you get to the actual campaign page, there's so many things that they just make it difficult. I've spent weeks just trying to get the campaign right. And with, Fund My Comic, it was so simple. In an hour, I had most of the campaign done. I just had to work on some stuff for the rewards. But it was super simple, super easy. It was a breeze. The idea, I had like 2-3 questions that I needed to kind of answer to finish kind of laying everything out, reached out. I got the answers back quickly, which is anybody who's done campaigns with Indiegogo knows that, you have to send quite a number of emails just to get any sort of response. And even then, you're lucky if you do.
Yes.
So that's been super smooth. And the way I found it was basically through Dillard. Dillard had a stream with Luke and they were going over the campaign. I hopped on for a little bit, had a couple questions on my own. Luke answered them. And then Dillard kind of just went off, how Dillard does. And he gave this big impassioned speech about how, we needed to be on the first of the line. We need to have our own space. We need to have a place where comic books can thrive. And, a place that was really for creators. And, this story was basically in the stash. I hadn't really decided where it was going to go and what form. So it kind of motivated me. I said, you know what? Dillard's right. We need like our own space. And this is something new. This is a new project. This isn't tied to anything I've done before. So I felt like, all right, let's put it here and let's make it exclusive. This campaign is all in, basically, 90 days, get it funded or not. And so that was kind of my part of this kind of idea of being first on board. Let's try this out and see how it goes.
Yeah, and you've for 90 days, you've been in for 10 already. Well, make up your mind. In mathematics here says you got 80 to go, been in for 9 days. I'm like, that's 89 days. There's, what's it, an hour away or something? But you've raised 86%. I like this. It not only tells you how much you've raised in big bold letters, but how much of your goal you've raised in big bold letters in a percentage. You used to have to hover over a finished video on Kickstarter to see that kind of a thing and catch it while it was there. So And you've got the embedded video here. Your YouTube video fits right in that square, just like you see with other things. And then here's it's that familiar look that you're used to with other campaign fundraising pages. You've got your big pictures on the left, you got your rewards on the right. Now, is this your cover?
Yeah,
no, this is Donald.
Yeah, that's the cover by Donald DeLay of Raid of the White Leopard. Colors by How Comics, Alan Alonso. I've worked with Donald before. He's done really great work for me. So when I was thinking of a cover, I only do one cover. I don't do multiple covers. Every campaign just has one. And I wanted it to really kind of stand out and kind of grab you. And Donald kind of knows the stuff that I'm into and kind of how to make stuff really dynamic. So once he kind of gave me this page, I was like, yeah, this is the cover right here. And just Hal put the finishing touches on it. Nice, bloody, popping. You see Auric in his glory right there. And just kind of captures kind of the feel that you want from a cover. So
yeah, and it looks like he's taking down a Roman soldier. Maybe, I'm not quite sure, because I'm looking at this piece of equipment falling out of his hand here. So I'm like, what in the world is that? That looks like a Jack Kirby alien ultimate nullifier kind of thing made out of wood and topaz.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not, they didn't have brass knuckles or wood knuckles. What is that?
Yeah.
So who's he killing here?
That's part of the story, I guess you could say, or part of something. Yeah, that'll probably come down the line. But yeah, basically this is I wanted something to capture just something dynamic and something that didn't technically spoil anything of what's going to happen in book one. So, I kind of let Donald go loose, but there is like a story of where exactly the Vikings raided for them to start the book. They basically start with a big celebration after the raid. This is kind of like filling in some of like what they were doing before that. So.
And just to let you know how much of a badass this guy is, he's not stabbing a soldier. He's stabbing a stack of them. So this is very brutal and definitely shows, he's about to get 3 heads for the price of 1 swing here. Oh, very, very cool. So this is the interior art. Now this is you.
I know this is Avery Butterworth. He's the artist on this. I'm the writer.
So you're just the writer on this one. I'm gonna say
the Puerto Rican Mark Polton. Yeah, this is what they call me.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, like Avery's a super talented artist. He's worked with Phil Diaz on the Lost Pages. He's done a lot of the people stories, and I really liked his. Actually, own a page of one of the people stories, and I remember looking at like just his like line work and his inks, and just thinking like, how would he look on a Viking book? it just kind of caught my attention. So I reached out to him, pitched him the story. He liked it. He sent me some character designs, and they just blew me away, man. Like a lot of times you get character designs, but they're pretty basic just because they don't have to be more than what they are. But he really gave me these detailed character designs of a lot of the Vikings and their armor and stuff. I thought was really beautiful, and I thought like, wow, so you're putting this much detail into like just the character designs. Yeah, I wonder what he's gonna do with the pages. And then he kind of gave me these pages, and it just blew me away, man. This detail of the lines, all that stuff is just beautiful.
Yeah, the cross hatching, the dot pattern for the sky, that's something that is a real callback to old comics. Get that kind. I don't know what they call that. It's not zipatone. Maybe it is. But, it just looks cool. And they're like you said, they're celebrating on this page, but you can see the clouds are rolling in here, and as they're celebrating, here comes the big wave. It's going to be the sea a hell of a day at sea, sir.
Yeah, and then I remember he sent me some of these early pages, and that bottom panel there really just grabbed me. I thought like, wow, it's like the character really came to life. Yeah, because you write them and you have like an idea what the character is and who he is. But I literally just remember looking at that bottom page like, wow, that's him. Like he just came to life, and there's one panel here, and it just got better from there, man. And just love the reason why it's in this kind of gray tones and black and white is because, you know, Avery's a colorist. He's a good colorist. Like I said, he's done stuff for Phil Diaz, but it just like, to me, it didn't need anything. Once I saw like these finished pages, I was like, why would I mess with this? You know, like, why would this is the story here. The atmosphere it sets is beautiful. So like that was it to me.
So many times color will just ruin great pencils and inks. But I'm scrolling back up because I just love the where the story goes real quickly here. He's saying, the gods have smiled at us today. Show them your gratitude. And then the gods truly have a sense of humor.
How quickly life comes at you sometimes, you know?
Yeah. That's the Viking equivalent of life comes at you fast.
Yeah. And that's another great page with the boat kind of swaying, and then the lightning hits it, and then it goes to black with just a little kind of bit of like raindrops. Like I said, it just really just blew me away with this stuff, and just kind of, like I said, it just kind of captured what I wanted to do, and then, you know, I wanted to do more. You know, once we did the Viking part, I was like, yeah, this deserves like more pages, more. Bigger story, bigger platform, and that's kind of we started working on the second half, which is the next couple pages.
Yeah, because it's two stories, but they're interconnected. Somehow, we'll find out how. This is the story that introduces the white leopard. So, do we see him on these pages here?
Yep, it's the last page.
On the last page here, so we see some. Okay, so here's definitely supernatural, super science. We're not going to reveal what or why. But this guy's got a little amulet in his hand, and hey, here's a projection of what's coming. The Vikings are coming. I don't even need letters to tell me this. So this looks like Vikings find Atlantis. That's where I'm going. You don't have to confirm, deny, or anything, but it looks like it. And again, a lot of great action on here. Now this guy, wow, what is this?
That's, you know, part of the mystery, you know. And you have this man right here is doing a little meditation. He's you know, practicing some sort of martial art, and then boom, something hits him, and kind of get to see what happens.
Oh, okay. So these are two pictures of the same guy. He just got energized by something. He charged up with something. Okay, I'm following it now. Fanta, hey, welcome. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate it. Well, it's not just me she's in love with. It's Edwin gets more hearts than I did. So better man wins. I'm teasing Fanta. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate it. So scrolling back down. Oh, this guy is taking over the top. This guy he's not Batman, but he's got on a fox head of some kind, or a wolf's head to leap into battle with. That will scare people.
Then, you know, we have the pirates get introduced, and it's, like I said, all these different you kind of go, how does this all tie together, you know? But stuff
like
is
a mini
just
tornado went through the children's library and got all the books piled into one.
But you know, there's a plan with all this, all the madness will hopefully make sense to everybody once we kind of start laying stuff out. But yeah, this is one I was initially hesitant if I wanted to reveal that page or not. But I figured like I needed one more page to kind of really, like, you go down to the end, it's good, and then you hit that one, you go, okay. But there's still even better stuff coming. So I felt like, all right, I can release that one last page.
Yeah. If you're going to promote a book called Raid of the White Leopard, show the White Leopard once.
You got to show him.
and there he is. And that is such a dynamic pose coming down on these pirates here. I don't know if he's good guy, another bad guy. We'll have to read and find out. So how are we going to read? How are we going to get this? Let's take a look. By the way, folks, look at this. He's already sold out of some of the reward tiers on Fund My Comics. So if you haven't acted yet, that should be your impetus to get in here, click that link, and pick something up. So you can get the digital for $12. How many pages are we looking at?
It's 20 pages.
Okay. Your basic standard comic size. And four people have taken that up. Fulfilling in November of 2023. That's what it says on the digital. Is that what it's going to be on the physicals as well, or?
Yeah, it's basically a buffer date. I'm hoping to get it out before that. The book's completely finished. All the art's done right now. I'm just working on the print file. I got a proof back, but it needs some work. So right now I'm just making some changes to it and making sure everything's right. So yeah, like I said, I'm not waiting on anything. I'm just kind of making sure everything is correct on the proof before getting it.
Yeah, if you're at that stage, then you're going to be well ahead of deadline, and people are going to be very, very happy. If you want the physical copy, and who doesn't, spend the extra $3, and for $15 in shipping, there you go. Raid of the White Leopard through Fund My Comic, or $15 if you're in Canada. So this is how this one's set up. So Canadians will pick a different one, and they'll get the Canada only shipping. That's a unique way of doing it, but that's the flexibility of the site that you can do that with it.
Yeah, it's super, super helpful that you can really set up all the specific shipping for different tiers, or you put it all in one. Like I said, as far as like the actual setup, which is, I spent a lot of time on my Indiegogo pages, just going back and forth, and just like, it's not easy. So I like the simplicity of this. It makes it a lot smoother to like run, and the less headaches I have, launching, the better. So.
Oh yeah. I hate the headaches of launching a campaign. It's confusing, and you're messing with people's money. You want to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
So the easier it is and the simpler it is to follow, the better. If you want to get a second copy, folks, you can save $5 by going for the 2 for $25 option here, and you'll get like it says, 2 copies sent to you. 4 people have backed this already. Estimated shipping November. I don't know what these were, but they're sold out. This was
those were sketch card and comic bundles. I launched 3 separate ones. One by Shelby Robertson, the other by Joe Bond, the third one by Brandon Diaz. They sold out in the first hour, which was awesome. And I just added 3 more earlier today. So anybody who missed out, you can grab one from Avery Butterworth, who's the artist on the book. Simon, who's worked on Nat and Blood Hunt, and Michael Beacon, who's done 7 Legions. So you can grab a special sketch card and the comic.
So if you missed the sketch card of the first time around, you can get a different sketch card now, folks. $50 gets you the comic and the sketch card. Pick the one you want. Nobody's done it yet. It could happen tonight. Now, I don't know if Fund My Comic refreshes automatically like Kickstarter does, or if it has to be refreshed. Let me do a quick right click on here and see if that 1286 is still 1286. I'm hoping that it's going to be something different. I'd like to be a little higher. Oh, not yet. Okay, folks in the chat, help me out. If this is a book you're going to get, now would be a great time to get it so we could see it happen on the show.
Yeah, those sketch card tiers specifically are a steal. Those guys, beautiful work, plus the comic. It's those went fast. Like I said, I'm just getting the announcement out that those are live, so I'll be, I'll be on different streams tonight and tomorrow. So if you're hearing this, and now's the time to jump on it before everybody else does.
Now, for $150, you can get a page of the original art. So this was done in traditional art manner.
Most of it, like the gray tones and stuff, were added digitally, but Avery draws out everything, beautiful inks, just tons of detail. You see the blue lines on it and everything. It's just, I have all the original Viking pages. There's 5 left, so if you want those, like I said, first come, first serve. So,
two are gone. And to be clear, the comic doesn't come with this tier. This is the page of original art. You'd have to still buy a comic somewhere.
This is its own specific tier. People know shipping pages it's a whole other service.
We know shipping.
Yeah, it's one thing to ship a little sketch card with it. You can that's simple. You're trying to ship 11 by 17. That's make sure it gets to you safe. That's a whole other process. So it's gotta be its own kind of separate thing.
Well, that's what we do day in and day out here at Critical Blast Logistics is shipping that kind of stuff. So it's a thing. Oh, look at that! I got extra hearts. So thank you, Pat. on the tab for the campaign, so I didn't get to see the comments. Yep. Thank you, Mike, for pointing that out to me. She missed the Shelby art, but you can still get.
He said you can get if you like Avery's art, you can grab a sketch card. He did one of Captain Pharaoh. He's the lead pirate guy that you see on the bottom of that white leopard page leaping down, and he's got a nice part in this comic. So definitely,
I'll tell you what. If this is a page of the original art that's available, that's the one to get. And early backers are going to get priority. So 2 out of 6 are in. I don't know if this one is available. I'm just saying. No,
not yet. But if we do sell out of the Viking ones, I'll definitely be reaching out to Avery because that means the demand is there to do more. I only did it this way because I've had some original art on other pages, and it just wasn't, the demand wasn't really there. But I think this one with Avery's style and the way that basically the how the page leaps at you without any colors or anything, I decided to kind of like take another shot at the original art. So, but yeah, if we sell those out, I won't mind reaching out to Avery and seeing if we can get some of these white leopard pages.
I think that's going to be a thing. Now, how did you find Avery?
I found Avery through Phil. Like I said, I was looking for somebody to team up with on my page 2 Alterna, and there's a lot of talented guys, but availability is it can get a little tricky, and I wanted somebody who could jump right into it. And I was looking at, like I said, one day I was staring up at his at the original page that I have of the people, and I was just looking at his inks, and then that alone, I just kept looking at him like, if he does it just in this style, he's drawing Vikings, how's it gonna look? And it just really kind of sparked me. So I reached out right to him, and I was gave him the pitch, and he dug it. And like I said, once he sent me back the character sketches, that was it. Like I was like, this is the guy. He's it.
Because he's not somebody I've heard of before, so that doesn't mean that he hasn't done a whole ton of stuff. I'm not omniscient here, but my sense is that he's new into the industry, and that he's going to be commanding a price soon, as people discover his artwork. So the fact that one of the cards you've got right now, I think, make sure. No, I'm right there. The fact that one of the cards is by him, original artwork right there on a card. That's that could be an investment, folks. I'm not a prognosticator. Past performance is no indicative of future performance. All of those qualifiers right there, but it's a chance that he might be somebody who'd be good to have original art from, especially early in his career.
Yeah, like the reason, I just saw like he was doing some sort of like stream, and they were doing like just some original art he was putting up, and I just saw like the page, and I was like, wow, this is, because I had seen like I said, I knew some of his work, but just it's something about when you see the art at like its rawest form. The certain guys have like like Joe Ball's like that. When you see his actual pages, you just like, man, how is this guy putting so much into these? And it just makes you like, I need to have that. And then, like I said, Avery, everything he's delivered has given me that same kind of feeling. Yeah,
there's such an intensity on the faces here when you get in close to him like this, and the structures that he's got in here. This boat, that's look at the bow, whatever the thing is called on the front there. Mast. It's not the masthead. It's I used to know this word. Anyway, it's a head at the front of the boat. So it's a big dragon head. All of this is cool. I'll bet if this was in color, this is probably some sort of a red flame on the white shade here. White shade. It's a sail, RJ. I don't sail. I don't get on the water.
No.
And it's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
So how was what's the schedule going to look like for White Leopard 2 and 3, given that you've got other projects that you're juggling, right?
Yeah. I'll tackle this probably early next year. We'd probably go to look another round of Unfund My Comic. Avery's pretty quick with the pages. And like I said, we're not doing like a big, 60 page where it just takes time and time. He's the turnaround would be pretty good for the first quarter of like next year.
Okay, that's good to know, because you want an artist that can deliver on a quick schedule when you're ready to go. I was going to say, 80 days to go. That seems like a long time, but folks, don't just say, well, I got 80 days. If you're just going to get the comic, 80 days. Those cards, the original art pages, that's something you're not going to want to sit on and wait for. If you're even thinking about it, if you've got the funds for the backing, don't fund something you ain't got the funds for. Don't do that. Don't go into don't bounce any check, folks.
Be smart. Yeah.
But this looks like it's what's your feedback so far? I mean, has you had any beta readers go over the story?
No, usually I spread it around the hardline guys. It's a good number of us, so I always get their feedback on everything. And like I said, the story's been done for a while, so they've all seen the finished lettered pages. I've shared the PDF with them, so they got like their feedback on it, and put little twists and different kind of like changes, spelling, all that kind of stuff. Even though my letter SK is great with a lot of that, it's always good to have a couple extra eyes to kind of just double check everything.
Yeah, definitely. Many sets of eyes are good. Captain Infinity, I think you're right. It's the prow. But I sure thought there was some pretty word about the actual big figurehead. Might even be that. But it's called something. And of course, folks, as we approach the top of the hour here, be sure to pop over to Mike Walters' channel. As I mentioned before, the Mike Stand. It is, all the niche news in comics, anime, manga, and professional wrestling. He'll be going over for the evening. So be sure to check that out. And while you're there, do hit the like and subscribe. The link is in the comment that he just posted. That's why I gave him a wrench. I almost said that's why I gave him a hammer. I don't know why. How much of this have I drank? It's not that much. I shouldn't be falling over words like this. Oh, wow. I'm sitting here wondering, what's wrong with my StreamYard? Why is it all screwed up? It's just the fact that I've actually scrolled the page to a point where it lines up with the bag. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
But it works.
It does. That's nice.
I'm trying to think what else I should be asking about this, because we got a little bit more time. I'll give you a wrench or a hammer, whatever one you'd like. I'm not going to sing the Carpenters song if I had a hammer. That would be, no one wants that. So being 86% funded in the first 10 days, I mean, that's a admirable thing to happen, even if you were on, a highly trafficked site like Indiegogo, to get, that close to being fully funded that quickly. Were you surprised at all, or did you have like a feeling in advance that, enough people knew that they were going to jump on it?
No, I was actually, this is probably the most nervous I've been for a launch. Just because, the project is so different from a lot of the other stuff I've done. And, like I said, I'm one of the first, along with Dillard and a couple other guys, that really kind of launching this is a Fund My Comic exclusive, going all in. I've had successful campaigns on Indiegogo. So again, that's a different kind of story, different platform, different, just everything. So you kind of never know. It's a little nervous, but been super happy with, how things are going so far. Like I said, just trying to get this last couple 214 to get it fully funded. And then I can kind of take a deep breath and know that, we're making this happen. And then, like I said, once we hit the 1500, I'll be showing the art for the first stretch goal. And I think people are really gonna like the art and the artist. So that's another thing I'm kind of excited to put out. So
that's right, because like the other platforms, Fund My Comic does allow for stretch goals, and you're going to be putting out some art pages for that. 1500 being the so 1500 is goal and stretch goal, the first one.
No, it's just the reveal of the first stretch goal. The actual first stretch goal to unlock it is 3000.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
We want to hit
but
that.
yeah, we definitely. I think once people see the art, I think it'll give like a second kick to the campaign, because it's one of my favorite pieces, and just by a very talented artist that a lot of people know.
Now, you mentioned something at the beginning. We keep looking at it right here on the screen with 80 days to go. You set this up for a 90-day campaign. That's not something that I think you can do on Kickstarter or Indiegogo.
No. It's the reason I did the 90 days was because I'm launching Ace Volume 3 in September. So I didn't want to have two conflicting campaigns. I wanted to have a little buffer. And also 90 days is about, how a Indiegogo campaign goes. I mean, I ran mine probably the most, maybe 6-7 months. I don't run these year-long campaigns. So 3 months here, exclusive, a much more kind of slimmed down campaign, focus on just selling the book, not too much. I've had slam buddies. I've had all this other kind of fun stuff for other projects. This one, it's mostly just book focused. So, it's kind of different kind of way of running a campaign than I've had for other projects. So yeah, there's a lot of different things. I thought the 90 days kind of made sense.
Okay. So, especially when you have to work with other artists, when you're not your own artist, it gets expensive. Is $1,500, and don't tell me what you really need, but is $1,500 going to make it? I mean, is it to where you don't have to pay out of pocket? No,
15 just to make the book. As I say, like this is we get you the book, and we can, at least get that part of it done. But yeah, we'll need more than that. But like I said, don't really talk about numbers. We just put this out and push it, and
I know what I paid for an artist, because I've got a short story coming out. It'll be coming out on Fund My Comic in a book called Out of Obscurity. We're doing a 6-page story with the clock, and we have Mark Oliver doing the artwork on that. So I know what his rates are. And I paid them. I bought all 8 pages, rather. So art is not cheap. I don't know how it compares to Avery's, but like I said, Avery's going to get more expensive as the months go past, as people start clamoring for his time. So look at that. You can put links in there now, can't you, Fanta? So she got her wrench. Captain Finity, working with other artists is worth it when it's Dillard. Well, yeah, Dillard's a good guy. He didn't do anything on this, but
no, not yet. But, you never know what could happen in the future.
It could. Hey, might be another set of sketch cards have to come in, and you call him up and say, "Hey, Mr. Dillard." And yes, Mike, I know you reminded I learned about the clock through the Historic Comic Retrospective, which again, we every Friday do tune into that. The clock, by the way, is the first American masked hero. The Phantom's the very first, but he's British, so he gets an asterisk in my book. But so the clock is the first American comic book hero to wear a mask over his face, and it was the silliest thing in the world. He doesn't wear a clock symbol anywhere on him. He sees a crime happening, and it's the 30s, so he's wearing, as everyone did, a 3-piece suit with a fedora hat and a tie. And he just pulls out his handkerchief and tucks it up in the front of his hat so it hangs over his face with little eye holes. That's his mask.
No.
Yeah, it works.
There you go.
Captain Finity was talking about his own book, which I didn't know you had one going. So you need to be promoting in more places, and then you need to bring that book over here and let us talk about it for an hour. So hit me up. You know how to do that. We can promote your campaign when you're getting ready to go. Yes, Dillard is the coolest. If he's reading this, he will definitely know that you said that, just in case he's watching the video later and the chat isn't playing. Fanta thinks you're cool, John. I love John's broadcast, because first time I interviewed him, I was like, "Do you have a show?" He's like, "No." He's like, "No, I don't have a show. I don't do shows." I was like, "You've got a radio broadcast voice. You should be doing podcasts or something." And now he is. So, and it's not because of me at all. I'm just saying that one thing happened and then another thing happened in order. He runs a great show. Do you have a podcast yourself, Edwin?
Yep, I do something I call the Writer's Cut stream. I do it basically every other Sunday. I did a stream last night with John from Desolate Soul Studios. Basically, the idea is I just bring on other writers and creators, and we talk about different parts of writing. Yesterday, we were just having a talk about influences and kind of, different how writers have influenced our work and stuff that we're really into. But sometimes I've had Michael Brankoff on. We talked about writing for a sequel, and a bunch of the Hardline guys have come on. It's been a really fun stream. I've been doing it probably for like 2 months now. It's been the 45, 50 minutes go by like that, man. I remember me and John were talking about, some Spider-Man comics and, and we're talking about like Green Lantern comics, and we just kind of like that 45 minutes. I looked up at the clock. It's like, all right, it's time to end this. But they're just fun, easy conversations, and hopefully, any aspiring writer or guys who want to get back at it can, get maybe a little inspiration or just kind of, get that recharge from it. It's been a lot of fun to do it on my Drawing Aces CG channel.
I need that. I need to watch that show because I see so many drawing streams, and I'm like, I can watch it for a little bit, but I can't draw, so I don't learn anything from it. I don't have any input to it. I'm like, yeah, it's a pretty picture. I'll come back in an hour when you're done and see what it looks like then, because otherwise it's just slow magic to me. Because it's just like I have no idea how you're pulling that effect off, but it's good. But yeah, it's writing. I would much more be interested in, because yes, making comics is hard work, Captain Finity. That 8-page story, I slaved over how to start that because I'm like, I started writing a script. No, I had to actually do pencil sketches and stick figures and everything to lay it out. I said, I would much rather write another 100,000-page Destroyer novel than write another 8-page short story. So yes, follow Edwin on Twitter at Edwin Aces, and then T and all that. Yeah, just click the link. I'm not gonna read the whole URL thing out there. Edwin, we have reached the top of the hour, and I'm going to give us one more hopeful reload on the page just to see. Fingers crossed. Drum roll, and we're 1286. Okay, so the good news is you didn't get any refunds. I have had that happen on the show before. Very embarrassing thing.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Especially live on stream,
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. I was like, the number changed, and they're like, yeah, it went backwards. I'm like, oh, that sucks. So we don't play our celebratory video when that happens. I should maybe come up with another one. No, but anyhow, thank you so much for bringing the Raid of the White Leopard onto the show tonight. Looking forward to reading this one. I'm gonna make this part of my collection here soon, and I'm gonna want to read. Are you gonna compile them all into one when it's done as a trade?
I want to do like a big trade. Maybe get Avery to do like a new cover and just kind of do his own thing. Maybe have him color that. I've wanted to do like a big trade collection for stuff. I don't have enough books or anything for anything like that, but I think this is something that I'll make plans for when once the 3 books are finished. I really would love to see something collected in the best way possible that I could, put all the bells and whistles on it, because I think the art and the look of the book deserves it. So,
and it's so, I'm not gonna say easy, but it's much more accessible now to do it than it was, 10, 20 years ago, with all the print on demand and the places that can cater to, somebody who is a creator that, maybe 20 years ago couldn't break into the industry because it was expensive. You had to have a publisher, and now you are the publisher. I can only imagine how much easier and bigger the industry is going to get in the next 5 to 10 years.
Trying to be one of the first ones on that wave,
Yes, yeah. Well, y'all are definitely trailblazers. I mean, this is an indie comics renaissance. I remember late 80s, early 90s, when the Turtles broke through, when comic shops started hearing from people ordering this book that was being produced by two kids in their garage on a mimeograph machine. And then it was like, well, I'm not going to miss the next wave. So they bought everything that was coming out from indies. And you had every black and white thing. And a lot of it was good. A lot of it was not, but it was all there. Same today, there's this new wave of creativity coming out through crowdfunding and print on demand. And a lot of it is good. A lot of it you might want to take a second look at. But if you're looking for the stuff that is good, come to this channel, because the good stuff shows up here, like Raid of the White Leopard. So this is where the good stuff is, folks. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming on tonight. We do appreciate you being here. We don't have a show without you. And as always, while you were here, click the link below the video. That's where the link is. Go to Fund My Comic for Raid of the White Leopard. While you were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.